The Queen chooses you. I'll see you at WrestleMania.
If you come at the king, you best not miss.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this contest and
acknowledge us.
Hey, guys, we're here at the Red Carpet Ring. We'll talk about WWE SmackDown. Tiffany Stratton defends WWE Women's title against Nia Jax. We got that. We got other stuff to grade SmackDown. And, of course, we got current news. In the bonus round for this one is who really attacked Jade Cargill. You guys tune in. Let's get more up into the ring. Salute to everyone coming into the ring. Let's get the likes up. Let's talk about the match card of the show, because this is a good one. We are heading up to Elimination Chamber. But this is the match card here. We had two Elimination Chamber qualifying matches. Naomi versus Chelsea Green. Triple threat, Jacob Fatu, Braun Strowman, Damian Priest. Solo Sikoa appears. And, of course, the WWE Women's title match. Tiffany defends title against Nia Jax. So let's get on with the segment. Opening segment here, we got Cody Rhodes coming in, the WWE champion. He comes in, he addresses that Jey Uso has picked Gunther for his WrestleMania opponent for WrestleMania 41. And Cody awaits to see who all the participants going to be in the men's elimination chamber. You know, whoever wins is going to challenge for his title. He named off some names, CM Punk. He named off, of course, Drew McIntyre being one of them. He also named John Cena. And he also named off another name that's also in the chamber. It did qualify. He named off Logan Paul. But Drew came in. He felt kind of offended, as he said, just Drew McIntyre. Then Cody went into it to explain more about it, you know, and Drew McIntyre said, well, you didn't address that. I won a chamber twice, and I'm a former three-time world champion, won a Money in the Bank. And Cody addressed it more. He said, hey, you know, you're one of the few men that's beat me since I've been back in WWE, you know. Then later on, we get Jacob Fatu come out. He come out to talk to Drew face-to-face. He also told Drew, you know, he's talking to him about how he wants to be when the chamber go to WrestleMania, because he's gonna put the claim he's gonna win. And then also, we also had as well that Drew said, you know, he teased the match between him and Jacob, and then he walks out, leaves to Cody. Jacob just staring at Cody's title. And then next thing you know, Solo music hit. And before Cody could go to address him, because, you know, Solo attacked Cody last week, Jacob said it's family business. He don't handle it. So we'll talk more about that as we get later on into the show. But the first match of the show was Naomi versus Chelsea Green, qualifying match. Now, this was a okay match. Not too bad. Not too bad to start off the show. Not too bad. We do know that Chelsea Green, of course, always going to use the advantage of having Piper. It was a solid one. Even she hit a Rough Rider, you know, her husband's move, and got a near count. Now also Naomi got near fall as well, but you know Naomi had a lot of momentum, but she was able to pin Chelsea Green and to advance it to the chamber. And also, you guys didn't know, you know, Naomi did some other stuff too during the matchup. She also did some. She gave Chelsea a wedgie, which I'll talk about later as well, but this happened too. So that happened during the match. Why Naomi was going for a move. Chelsea was not too happy about that. She addressed it later, and we'll talk more about that. But Naomi goes on to the women's Elimination Chamber match. She will be one of the women qualifying. Now we have Alexa Bliss, Morgan, Bianca's already in there, Bailey, Naomi. The last spot will be for Monday Night Raw. Now, we know for Monday Night Raw, it will be a match between Raquel Rodriguez and the newest main roster person, Roxanne Perez. We know that's another part of it as well. And we know that's going to be on the upcoming episode of Monday Night Raw. So we have tune in for that match. See who qualifies for that last spot in the chamber. But congratulations to Naomi again. But let's move on. We got another match. We did have Los Garza versus MCMG. Another good banger. These guys always put out a good tag team match. I like Los Garza. They're getting much better and better. First time they made an appearance since Elektra Lopez been released from WWE. But like I said, these guys, these definitely put in work. I like Angel Umberto of Los Garza. But I'm glad that they're being utilized more on TV. It makes them look good. Of Legado del Fantasia, the stable that makes Santos Escobar look good. But you know, MCMG, they got the experience on their side. It was too much for them, and they got the win. So MCMG defeats Los Garza in the tag team match. Later on, all right, before the match started, we had the Miz versus LA Knight. Miz cut a horrible promo, and LA Knight was mocking him. It was funny, but it was still kind of cringe. Very, very cringe, I might add. But anyway, they had a match. Miz did a good job putting LA Knight over. LA Knight defeated the Miz with a BFT. And later on, we got Shinsuke Nakamura, the current United States champion, come out. And they're teasing a match of Nakamura is going to defend that title against LA Knight. Will LA Knight regain it? I think he will. But it's a good story because I talked about the mid card saying that these guys don't defend the titles enough. Well, it seemed like they're headed in the right direction now. So Shinsuke seemed like he finally will be used, but I can't wait to see where it's going to go later on. So this is definitely good. I like what these two are doing. I like the work that they're putting in because it seemed like it could be some good chemistry between LA Knight and Shinsuke Nakamura. So I will say that as well. So we got to keep an eye on and see what else they're going to do. But I definitely see these two tearing it up. They're definitely going to tear it up. Cannot wait to see what else is going to happen next between these two. Like I said, maybe they have a match at Mania. I don't think Elimination Chamber. Maybe Elimination Chamber they have a match. Maybe. Just want to put it out there. That's a good maybe. But that remains to be seen. So we will see what happens next as time progresses. Also, I want to talk about as well. Street Profits cut a promo, and they keep talking about how they're gonna cover the tag team belts. That's the new dark character of Street Profits, their dark version, and I think this is good for the brand and good for the tag team division. They have been literally cutting these promos every week, and it's been with intensity, it's been with anger, and I think it's going to be just what they need to get the tag team titles again. Because they've had tag team gold in years now. But let's move on to the other part of the show. We got R-Truth versus Mello. We know that this started backstage where R-Truth, Mello told R-Truth he's him, and you know R-Truth is comedic. Who's him? Who's that? Mello felt disrespected. Very good moments by both. They both were smooth in the ring. And Carmelo got the win over R-Truth. Clean win at that. Not no cheesy win. But this make R-Truth and Mello look good. So Mello continues on with the winning streak. He's not losing all the time no more. So salutes to that. Let's see another part of the show going on. All right, we got here. What do we got? Oh yeah, Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax. WWE Women's Title match. I would say this match here, not too bad. I do notice that Tiffany tried to overpower Nia some moments, but she couldn't. I do also notice that Tiffany Stratton, she tried a sunset flip counter, didn't go as well, but she did have a good double stop in the corner on Nia. Nia was just getting her, and during the match, as Tiffany was on board for the prettiest moonsault, Cancer Ray interfered and caused disqualification. Nia Jax didn't seem too upset about it, and of course, Nia Jax and Cancer Ray did the double team on Tiffany Stratton. Then we see at the upper right that Trish Stratus came in. She attacked Candice and she attacked Nia, but Nia got Trish with squash in the corner turnbuckle. That was it. Afterwards, when Nia and Candice LeRae was broken up by officials and left the ring, Charlotte Flair comes out and she finally makes a decision. She was watching the match backstage too, and she finally came with a decision. What is she of her WrestleMania opponent? And now we know what the deal is going to be for WrestleMania 41 as far as the Women's Royal Rumble winner goes.
The Queen chooses you. I'll see you at WrestleMania.
So there you have it. We got Charlotte Flair versus Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania 41 for the WWE Women's Championship. Night 1, Night 2, no, it's not determined which night it's going to be, but it's on. So that means when the women, whoever wins the Women's Elimination Chamber now, this will be for Rhea Ripley's Women's World Championship. Just like last year, when Becky Lynch won. So one of these 5 women or 6 women, whoever qualifies for the last spot, they'll go for Rhea's title. And man, just crazy there. That's what's going on in WWE. Crazy moments there. We finally got the match here. We finally got something going. We're just trying to figure out what they're gonna do. Charlotte and Rhea was gonna look good on paper. Still think it'll look good on paper, but I understand they gotta go with Tiffany. She's the newest talent. It makes perfect sense. I'm not against it. I prefer Rhea for the history, but the fans want Tiffany Stratton for the face. Let's be honest, that's what they want. And that's exactly what we're going to get. It's official now, as Adam Pearce would say. Definitely official when it comes to that. They're going to do their thing at WrestleMania 41. So both Jey Uso and Charlotte Flair, the Royal Rumble winners, men and women's, they have both chose their WrestleMania 41 opponent in the same week. So that's good. Now we could do book scenarios for WrestleMania 41 as we head to WrestleMania. But let's get to the main event of the show. We got here Jacob Fatu versus Braun Strowman versus Damian Priest. Great match. I like how they teamed up on Braun, meaning Jacob and Damian. They both gave him that work. Braun Strowman has a good advantage of Jacob Fatu. Chokeslammed him outside in the announcer table. Now we know that Jacob Fatu is going to have Solo interfere, and Tama Tonga didn't turn out too well for them. Solo tried to do some more spike to Cody Rhodes, who came down for the save. He ended up getting Tama Tonga instead of Cody. Cody Rhodes also hit the crossroads on Solo outside the ring. Jacob was not pleased with Solo coming out. And also, they had that segment there when Jacob Fatu and Solo's in the back room that was looking for him. Jacob saying, "Where you at, Solo? Where you at? They're looking for you." Solo say need to rebound since losing the tribal combat match for the Ula Fala. You know, he needs rebound. He told Jacob he loves him and everything. But Jacob lost this match, and I think things gonna really heat up between him and Solo. And with that being said, yeah, Jacob Fatu taken out with a clothesline to barricade by Damian Priest. Damian Priest will go on to hit the south of heaven on Braun Strowman. And for 1, 2, 3, we got Braun Strowman out. We got Jacob Fatu out. Damian Priest qualifies for the Elimination Chamber. One more spot left in the chamber. One more spot left, and that will be determined on Monday Night Raw. Now, this been talked about before. It's pretty much obvious who's going to win this match. Well, we gonna talk about it anyway, real quick. So the last spot of the men's Elimination Chamber qualifying match, it will determine down to Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. It won't likely Seth going to win. I talked about this before, but that's the last spot for Raw. Well, than that, this is how it looks right now. And that was the end of Friday Night SmackDown. So that's the end of that show. Everything that went on in that show. But definitely, some good moments there. Can't wait to see what else is going to happen. So we got to see how they're going to play this whole thing out. Because we definitely headed for WrestleMania. Without a shadow of a doubt, we are there. We're getting there. We only got a couple weeks left for Elimination Chamber. So a matter of time before things get turned up over there as well. You know, we always have some good moments when it comes out to the Elimination Chamber match. So I'm glad that's happened. But yeah, WWE SmackDown Raw, some good moments there. Moments we do not want to forget, obviously. But other than that, though, guys, that was it on the show. If you guys missed the show, didn't see it, we'll look at all the stuff that did happen during Friday Night SmackDown. In case you missed it, even most of the highlights and photo-wise of what happened. That's everything went there. So, but let's get into it. Let's talk about the rating of the show. Rating of the show, good moments, 4.5 out of 5. A lot of stories building up on SmackDown, not just on the main stories and the main events, big car stories. Even tag team divisions is getting good too, real good. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen next as time progresses. But let's talk about what went wrong. You guys, of course, can go on the community tab where you think of the show. Let's talk about what went wrong. Let's talk about a couple things what went wrong with the show. So we're going to talk about some things that I noticed on the show and why I noticed, good or bad, despite of a good rating of the show. But we're going to move on. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about see what the next one's going to be. Now, one thing I did notice on here, and people haven't said anything, Street Profits been out for a while until recently returning at Royal Rumble. You know, they want their tag team belts back. So we know that they've been cutting some promos, dark promos, and they've been good promos too. But one person I noticed missing, because they're dark characters now, B-Fab. So with Street Profits, with this current recent character change, safe to say that they quietly removed B-Fab from being with Street Profits, because B-Fab's on her own. She even was in the women's United States tournament. She's teaming with Michigan. She's not with them no more. And I kind of was starting to get used to B-Fab being with Street Profits. I was liking that. But I guess you can't win them all, right?
You know what's gonna happen? No. Words? No. You just made the list.
So that's one thing I noticed on the show. Let's go to another part of the show that I didn't like really. But yeah, that's one thing I wanted to touch on. Another thing I want to talk about on this current episode, besides what went wrong, another thing I did not like either, is kind of was irritating. Kind of starting to get to me a little bit. And I'm glad they ended it before it really got out of control. That's just how I see it. But what I meant by that is stuff I was not too big on as far as how the episode went. Some things just bothered me on the show. I want to talk about as well how, like I said, it could be a minor thing, could be a major thing. I just really did like this Miz promo. I really thought it was horrible. Miz was trying way too hard. He was like, that's why LA Knight was even laughing and mocking him. He sounded ridiculous, and I just was not a fan of that at all. And it was on too long. I'm glad they changed to LA Knight, but it was not good.
What's gonna happen? No. Words? No. You just made the list.
So yes, that's another thing I didn't like about that part on SmackDown. But it was a good show. A couple things. But let's move on to talk about what went right with the show. There were some things that went right, despite how you guys look at it. If you didn't like the show, now if you liked it, it's a whole different ballgame. But one thing I was going to say too, I noticed, like I said before, things are starting to turn up in WWE. Things are really starting to kick in full gear. And like I said, we are getting ready for WrestleMania and even Elimination Chamber. We could say that too. So one thing I'm going to first start off with, I have a few things that I thought were good. The first thing I will talk about right now, it did go well, and I talked about it. I talked about earlier. Is the Jacob Fatu and Solo story heating up? The Solo and Jacob Fatu story is similar to the Roman and Solo story that just ended because Solo lost a big match, then his enforcer is going to turn on him, which is Jacob. Just like Roman lost WrestleMania 40 last year for the undisputed WWE Championship, and Solo was his enforcer, he turned on him. Stars on Bloodline. But I love where this is going. Now, this is story talent at its finest.
What's gonna happen?
So I like where the story's moving. I can't wait to see what else is going to happen between Solo and Jacob Fatu. Because these guys going to throw down. They definitely going to throw down. I'm not going to take nothing, and I mean nothing away from these guys. They definitely going to do their best to have a good feud with these two. But Jacob is tired of Solo's garbage. He really tired of him. He really is. That's not an exaggeration at all. So Jacob got the animosity in him, and at one point he's just gonna go off. One way or another, he's gonna go off on Solo. He ain't gonna tackle him because he already getting there now. Another part I'll talk about what went good with SmackDown that went right on SmackDown. Charlotte Flair picks her WrestleMania opponent, Tiffany Stratton. She finally made her decision. I thought this was great. You know, some WrestleMania picks by World Rumble winners, they take a little too long, they kind of prolong it too much, and then we get uninterested in the storyline. So I'm glad they made Charlotte make a decision this week. So that I was definitely a fan of, and I like where this is going. Because as we know, they do have the match. It's already said, as I said earlier, it's going to be with the title on the line, everything. But I do like this too. And we going to see how it's going to go. Y'all going to see how it's going to go. Talk about the best scenario possible of how this will go down. Because now we know who she chose. We're going to see how it's going to move. and it's going to be great. That's going to be a good one. I cannot wait to see how they're going to play this out. But I'll talk more about it, have my predictions on that. But we're definitely going to get into more of that. I can guarantee you that. Because like I said, we're getting there. There's no way around it. We are definitely getting there. It's going to be amazing how it's going to go. Definitely amazing how it's going to go. Other than that, though, this is a good call. Very good call. And it's going to go down.
Yeet.
So, we got the match set. Now, another thing I want to mention, too, this is a part of the bonus round section. I'm going to talk about a little bit about it right now. What I'm going to discuss is, and I'm going to talk, like I said, it's just something that I talked about this last week, actually. And now they're doing something with it. Finally, right? Another thing I did like on here, which was discussed, they're finally going to address who attacked Jade Cargill. They finally at least come to a conclusion of who's at the scene of the crime. Definitely good. I'm glad they didn't lose this story at all.
Yeet.
So that was the stuff that went right with SmackDown, excuse me. All right. Now we got to talk more into other stuff going on here. All right. Now we got to talk about some current news going on we'll talk about current news in WWE in a second. But we definitely will get into that bonus round. Definitely got to get into that. All right, let's get into current news. Let's get into that. There's some stuff that also happened, and it's funny. I mentioned this earlier. All right, the current news is Chelsea Green has banned, and she put this on social media. And she's talking about, remember, we saw Naomi give her a wedgie during a match. She's announced a ban on the use of wedgies during professional wrestling matches. She's the officer Chelsea Green. She signed it, everything. She's tired of that. She don't want that no more. We know Naomi thought it was funny, but she didn't think it was funny. But that's what Chelsea's gonna really push that narrative at some point. So don't be surprised if she says it's on the next episode of SmackDown. But they definitely pushing that agenda, guy. The way Naomi was pulling her, giving her a wedgie. That's all I'm going to say about that. It definitely was different. I thought it was funny though, but we're gonna talk. That will be discussed later. Another current news: new Hall of Fame member Michelle McCool has been inducted to the Hall of Fame. WWE Hall of Fame class of 2025. Second member announced after Triple H. They announced it on the ESPN show. Triple H told her, that she was inducted. She was on the show with Undertaker, her husband. She hugged. She was so happy and gracious for it. That's good. Michelle McCool was known for Lay Cool. Besides being married to the Undertaker, she's known for Lay Cool. She is the first Divas champion, in case people forgot. Pretty much of the Divas era in the late 2000s, early 2010s. But definitely, this is Michelle McCool. She's in there. Congratulations to Michelle McCool. She is in the Hall of Fame now. So, but we gonna switch gears and talk about bonus round. So give me a couple moments. We're gonna get that started. All right, we back here. We gonna talk about what's been discussed long enough. Who really attacked Jade Cargill? Now we know that this happened back in November of 2024, end of last year, pretty much. But we got to find out who finally attacked her. What does it come down to? Who did what? What's the whole reason behind it? Because we need to get to the bottom of it, right? And this thing we're trying to figure out who did this to Jay Cargill. Now I know that Nick Aldis, when he met with Bianca and Jade, because he be getting them updates, every couple weeks on SmackDown. So he finally played the footage of the possible attacker. You guys remember this on SmackDown. And now we're gonna get down to who did it.
Is that Liv and Raquel?
So that's what a response of Bianca and Naomi of what Nick Aldis played for them. So thing about it is, yes, we did see Liv and Raquel. Yes, they were there. According to the whole footage. So they were there because Nick Aldis played it. But the thing about it is, that doesn't mean it was these two that did it. That's not the case here. That don't mean that these two necessarily did it. Nick Aldis is going off what he said, but he didn't play the whole footage. And the thing about it is, it's not those two that did it. That's my thing. It was not Liv and Raquel that did this. It's not. But let's go down the list here of possible people. Now that we've been an update of Jade Cargill's attacker. So let's go down the list, shall we? Now I know I came up with some conclusions. I try and narrow it down. Is it Bianca Belair? No. And because no, she did not. Besides her having a matchup at the time of Jade Cargill being attacked, Bianca is a very, very hot baby face still. She's still over with the kids, the young girls, the braid. And if anything, I don't see her necessarily doing it because she don't have the most to gain. Bianca was one half of the WWE Tag Team Champions with Jade Cargill. Let's not forget about that. Now, unless she was constructed to get the belt off Jade, I don't necessarily see that being the case here. I just don't. I don't see that being a reason. Because for what it's worth, Jade and Bianca, they definitely dominated as a tag team. They were actually named the best tag team of 2024. Out of the whole all tag teams, men's, women's, WWE, all the wrestling promotions, you name it. So to say that says a lot. And people may not have liked Jade and Bianca. Some may not like them as a tag team. For whatever reason, these two last year, they really did dominate. So Bianca didn't need the tag team belt. So she had nothing to gain for it. Unless she wanted a brand new tag team partner. Maybe she got tired of carrying Jade. Whoever the case may be, I still don't see that being the reason. So not Bianca. Let's go down the list. Talk about Naomi. Now Naomi, who is currently one half of the tag team with Bianca, she did say on here, she said she clears her name from Jade Cargill attack on social media in the case of the IWC, which is ignorant or idiot wrestling community of Twitter/X versus Naomi. We jury find defendant not guilty. Now she said a good case there, but despite her saying that, I don't see her doing it either. Now we could say it could be a argument that maybe she did to claim the tag team belt. She got back. She's with Bianca now. But I don't think with this bond they have with Bianca, Jade, and Naomi, I don't think Naomi would do that. A lot of people want Naomi to even turn heel, and it's not going to happen. It's not. It's not going to happen at all. Not at all. So I don't see that being the case either. I just don't. Because they do have a good bond. I don't. They call them even the big three, I believe, of these three women together. So I don't. I don't see that happening at all. So I would say Naomi. It could be a possibility, but not a strong one. Maybe a mid possibility. Like I said, these girls definitely was all in sync with each other. They did win at WrestleMania 40 last year. So I don't see that being the case. I don't think they did. I don't think that's the case. So Naomi, I give a no. Let's go down a list of more people. Now, of course, the people that were highlighted in that footage: Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez. No, wasn't these two either. Now, I've noticed with that footage, they didn't link it up to one person allegedly attacked Jade. It's two people. I don't see Liv Raquel doing it either because at the time, Liv Morgan, her and Raquel, yes, they were. Raquel had just came back. She just came back for, from her skin, issue to help Liv Morgan, who's the women's world champion. Now we know that too. But what I'm saying is, whole thing about that, Liv is similar to Bianca. She had nothing to gain. She had nothing to gain getting Jay Cargill attacked. Neither did Raquel. Now, like I said, Raquel just returned back. She just returned back. But we have to remember it wasn't that long ago that Liv Morgan was the women's world champion. So why would she go ahead and get an attack? Have Jay Cargill attack for what? She already was champion. She has the title. She had and she already had her enforcer in Raquel Rodriguez. She had Judgment Day. She had it all. Why would she need to do that? That don't make sense. So she's similar to Bianca. You already had a belt. So it made no sense to do that. So those two are out as well. Those two are out. I don't see that being the case. It don't make no sense of why they would do that. I don't see it. It don't make no sense of why Liv and Raquel would do it. Raquel had just came back. Raquel was already, remember, she was already after Rhea Ripley to make sure that, Liv Morgan retained her championship. So why would they worry about Jay Cargill, especially being on opposite shows? So that don't make no sense of why they would do that. I don't see that. So I think that's kind of far-fetched. They're doing that to fool us. They're doing that to fool us, to make us think that's them. Because think about it. We saw Liv and Raquel. We never saw them. We never saw them on footage attacking Jade Cargill. There's no proof of them attacking her. We don't see that. I didn't see it. Now that footage is showing them attacking. They just seen walking around. They could just be walking around. They just happen to be around. They're doing that to throw us off. So keep an eye out on that. That's the fool you as the viewer. That don't mean they did it. Innocent until proven guilty. Until otherwise. I don't see them doing this because it would be too obvious if they did. I'm just saying, I want to throw that out there. Like I said before, I'll say it again. Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, did they have something to do with the whole? Would it make sense for them to even do it? That's one. Would they be the ones to do it? And I just don't see it. In the words of LA Knight.
No.
So no. Another scenario. Let's go down the list here. We're not done. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. No. Chelsea Green. I don't think she did it. I don't think Piper did it. Because Chelsea Green, now I know people think, well, Chelsea Green's Women's United States Champion. Oh, Jade Cargill was in that tournament. She was taken out. What, did Chelsea Green set that whole thing up with Piper Niven just to get Jade Cargill out, just to get Chelsea to win? No, I don't think so. Because her biggest issue was Michin. Was she wasn't so much worried about Jade Cargill? Or did Chelsea assist Piper in taking her out? A little far-fetched. It would be the further story if it came down to that, because it kind of makes sense. Did Chelsea, use Piper to take Jade Cargill out so she could win the tournament and be the inaugural Women's United States Champion? No, I still don't see it. Because that's a more realistic story if you think about it. It's a real more realistic one, because we have to remember here, when this stuff was going on with Chelsea Green at the time, we have to remember Chelsea Green did and was competing in the Women's United States Tournament. She was in there. And the thing about it is, she made it all the way to the finals. Now, at the time of the attack of Jade Cargill, it is true Chelsea Green did not hold the Women's United States Championship. It's a Saturday night's main event, December 14th, which was after Jade Cargill getting attacked. Did her and Piper work a scheme out to get her attacked? I still don't see that happening. It'll be very far-fetched in the biggest swerve and loophole in the story to get if that were to happen. But I still don't see in that. Remember, it's two people linked to it. That could be a possibility. This is who I think did it. Now, we don't get down to the last people. Now, people, I said this before, made a video about it here at Pink Square Circle. Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. Yes, these two did it. Because we have to remember, what did Jakara and Lash have to gain? Everything. Because at the time, Jakara and Lash were bouncing between three shows. They originally was on NXT, on Raw and SmackDown. And they say in wrestling business, if you want to make a name for yourself, you got to do it at somebody else's expense. And they are not, think about it, they're not established of where they're not on the main roster. They don't have an established spot. Maybe they want a spot. They did this to get a spot. And that's to take out Jade Cargill and to put these two in a spot and make, so they could get a name for themselves. Now, we haven't seen Jakara and Lash on TV in a while. We haven't seen that. We haven't seen that in a while, so maybe that could be the case here. Maybe that will be. Maybe it's to help, because I still think when they name the attacks of the people, it's always someone you least expect. You don't never be the obvious, it's the ones that's not so obvious. That's what I think it's at. So it could be that. It could be the case here. It very well could be. I'm not going to rule it out. I'm not going to rule it out at all. And we got to think about it too. It could be a good matchup in the future. So we got to think. We got to keep that in mind. But I do see the meta girls have something to do with it. They matter. They gotta make a name for themselves. And remember these girls, Jakara and Lash, they've been one tag team gold. They've been one to come at Bianca and Jade for quite some time. That's no secret. No secret at all. We know that because it has been demonstrated more than once, more than twice. So we've seen that. If you think about it, we've seen the whole confrontation interaction. We've seen on the episode of NXT the way they looked at them belts. They won what Bianca and Jade had. These two were a real threat to them. So they challenged. We seen them backstage. Then later on, they had a women's tag team match against these women, and they did not win the tag team belts. So they have everything to gain, and Bianca and Jade had everything to lose. So they did that by attacking Jade Cargill, taking her out, and made sure she was not a threat anymore. But you guys let me know what you think. That's all I have for who attacked Jade Cargill. Who's the real attacker behind this whole thing? So we talked about SmackDown, Tiffany Stratton defends WWE Women's title match. We talking about Jade Cargill story being resurfaced and footage of who the possible attacker could be. You guys let me know what you think of that. Soon to avail some pop-up, guys. You guys click the links below. Until then, you already know what it is. O-U-T.
Something happened this weekend, and I have been struggling with it since I retired, but this weekend gave me closure.
Wow.
It really did. Like, it was fun. Obviously it was fun. I mean, you can't, doing this for as long as I have and be